Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Good to be with you. Weird day for us. We'll work in a little Seminole headlines after this show ends, this hour ends. But there's a lot going on, like the first day of practice, and I want to touch on it. Don't want to not get to that because I was there this morning, as was Tom. Speaking of which, I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Sometimes you miss things. You want the ability to get caught up, catch up at your leisure. You can. We provide that for you. All 3 hours are posted upon the conclusion of the show, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. So that's a good thing. You can email the show if you like, jcs at 979espnradio.com. Find me on Twitter at jcameronshow, WTSM app, a good one to use. It's free for your mobile devices. And also within that app, you can find archive audio. If you're following along on Twitter, also follow at 979 ESPN Radio. You do that, you can watch the show being Periscope, or you can watch on YouTube. Hello, YouTubers. Just type in ESPN Tallahassee. A first day of practice that was fun. Just kind of straight to business, but a lot of music and an eclectic playlist, to say the least. It's funny because I was talking with Corey Clark of WarChant.com while the practice was going on, and we were noticing the wide array of music. I mean, everything from whether it's Leonard Skinner to DMX. I mean, it's kind of hilarious, the idea that it would be that varied, and it was. But Corey, and I got to give him credit, asked the question of the DJ that was there. He's not really a DJ. He's a guy on the staff, but he's got the playlist, and he was told that it's over 100 songs, at least for this day, and that there's actually a rhyme and a reason to it. Just a sidebar. It's just interesting how different practice is. That Willie comes up with a theme for the day, goes to somebody and says, this is the theme. That person then went to a musical therapist and said, pick the songs that would match this theme.
A musical therapist?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pick something that would match the theme for today's. And they want it to be eclectic. They want it to be, they want it to be all over the map. Everything from like pop country to heavy metal to rap to, and I think they probably have some parameters, like it can't have certain words, obviously.
Sure, of course.
But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, Deep Purple and then Luke Bryan and it was interesting.
I'd be happy to help you with your football project. That'll be $1,000 an hour.
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny. I mean, Jay-Z, and then there's Guns N' Roses. In a part that we were closed off to, by the way, but I found out later they began with Highway to Hell.
Oh, really?
AC/DC. So I thought, well, that's interesting. That's just a weird thing, and it's interesting. I'll tell you what, I liked it just from a football practice standpoint. You want to talk about never being bored. I mean, every group is moving, and they're moving now. Willie brought this up at yesterday's press conference. He said, I think you guys are – right at the end, he said to the press, look forward to having you all out there tomorrow. I think you're going to – we got a little something for you. I think you're going to enjoy it. Because he's excited about the job, and he's excited about what he's bringing to the table that's unique to him and his staff and what he's going to offer up these players. There are plenty of drills that I've seen at almost every modern football practice, okay? That stuff still exists. The way they're done, the pace with which they're done is different. And there were drills that I've never seen before that I thought were really cool to watch. We'll see if they're effective. One of them would be, for example, a GA with boxing gloves on punching the football during running back drills. So running backs are going through and high-stepping over the dummies after getting down in what amounts to a three-point stance and then kind of charging through the obstacles. And as they do, the GA is just jabbing, bam, bam, hitting the football. And you got other guys pushing, trying to get you off balance. So all little fun things there. It was interesting to see that DeAndre Francois was out there throwing the football. I didn't expect to see that at all. He still walks with a very noticeable limp, without question. But he's still out there throwing. I think the message has been sent. Anything you can do to improve yourself, anything you can do to be part of what we're doing here, make sure you're along for the ride. Make sure you do what you can do.
Right. It's not we're going to give you extra slack. It's here's the rope. Either you're going to pull yourself up or you're not.
Yeah, you're right. And we'll see. I mean, I don't know. You did seem to have a pep in the step sort of deal as the players were dancing and having fun, waiting in line or in between segments of practice, first half and the second half, if you will. But they were vibing, and but they were working. The pace with which practice is done and the sort of offense that they're beginning to, I don't want to say install, but clearly, for example, quarterbacks are, along with running backs, running behind the linemen who are pressing the sled, and we're moving here. We're running. Play. So you've got things that are different in that way. But I guess what really stood out to me is if you're not in shape, you're going to be in shape. I mean, if you're a big man, you're going to be in shape. You're going to get in shape.
Well, a few things I saw, and I was limited. I had about a half an hour to go look at practice. So I saw the individual portion where the quarterbacks are going throw for throw with each other. I was really impressed. This was a windy day. It was a cold and windy morning.
Yeah, it was.
So I couldn't actually hear the music from where I was standing. I was the top of Hauser down the third baseline, left field line, and I was kind of looking so I could see what was going on the far practice field. But right in front of me were the quarterbacks throwing, and I was impressed with the arm strength of all of them, given the way the wind was whipping around. I mean, clearly, we already know this, but James Blackman throws a pretty deep ball.
Oh, yeah.
And they were mixing in some route combinations, and the ball has to be on the receiver like this, and that was fun to see. But one thing I did notice, and I wonder if it felt the same because I saw you were in the end zone kind of closer to where the offense was practicing. It seems to me when you're looking at quarterbacks and interaction with coaches, it's not nearly the same as it was with Jimbo Fisher, where there's going to be correction after every single throw.
Correct. No, that didn't happen.
And while all of the coaches, all of the position coaches are really involved in making sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to do, it did seem to me like Walt Bell was the one who was organizing everything when it came to where the quarterbacks needed to be. He was giving them feedback on throws. I saw he tapped Bailey Hockman on the helmet a couple of times, Francois once or twice, and Blackman too. But it seems like Walt Bell is there. He's attached to the hip of that particular position group in a way that is closer to what Jimbo was doing when he was here, whereas Willie is kind of presiding over the entire thing rather than just obsessing over what the quarterbacks are.
Yeah, I saw – it's funny – It's interesting to bring this up, and we're just making our initial observations, and people are interested. I mean, it's a different look, it's a different vibe, it's a different feel, and obviously there are going to be different concepts introduced here soon too. So you want to learn and hear everything, at least in the initial stages, just to get an idea of what this staff is going to be like. So that's why these things are pertinent. There weren't eye-opening exercises that I've never seen somebody do that before, as much as there were the pace in which they did it and also the way in which they did it. So, to Willie Taggart, you remember yesterday it stood out to you and me that when he said at the press conference that, we're not going to be stopping practice every second or even all that frequently just to correct somebody. We can do that in the film room. We're filming everything. And afterwards, we'll go in and look at it. And if there's some real teaching that has to be done, we can do that there. There'll be little things here and there. And I wondered how much he would adhere to that. How much would he – because I just know, whether it's this job or you're a coach or anything, if we screw up, if you and I are doing a commercial or even a segment, if something goes wrong, and I'm talking about in the live show, we're talking about it during the break in our headset. We're like, you know what, that didn't work. We need to go a different direction. We're correcting problems because that's what you do when there are problems. And I don't know too many perfectionists, and most great coaches are, that let things slide without the, no, we're not doing it. So a couple times today he saw a few things that I noticed where he did pull he pulled a running back over and went, no. And then showed him very quickly what he wanted.
Before it was his turn
Before
again.
it was his turn again. Yeah, I saw a couple of those, But I think part of that had to do with if you're doing it wrong, you're slowing down the drill. It wasn't just a technique thing or it was a spacing and hey, if you do that, it screws up the next group. I need you here. So I saw some of that. But you're right. Willie is he got frustrated on a couple missed throws. The quarterback in him came out. There's a really easy throw that Blackman missed, mid-range throw. Put too much on. It was too low. And Willie said something to the extent of, we make that throw. We make that throw. And then he just kept going. Just a little, you can't miss those. That has to be right.
But it's not screaming somebody down and echoing through the practice facility.
No, not at all. No, he goes, oh! He actually went, oh! Come on now, we make that throw. We make that throw. And then he just moved on. It was just like, here we go, And
the other thing I noticed real quick is that it's much smaller because it's spring. You have so many guys leave.
Yeah,
and the groups you're used to seeing, all the fields full pretty much. And with as many players as we lost, early departures, and then obviously with only a few early enrollees here in the fold, it was actually quite empty. So that you could get, when you're talking about the ratio between coaches and players, the instruction is going to be pretty good. You're going to get some quality time with each one of your coaches while you're both on the field and obviously in the film room.
I'm going to have a lot of fun whenever we get the opportunity to watch Greg Fry coach the linemen. That's a different deal right there. That guy has got a lot of spirit, and he was probably more demanding than the other coaches that I noted, and in terms of holding guys accountable for details or lack thereof. And but he, for a big man, he's out there running. I'll tell you what, I had a conversation with several people today talking about if you are an assistant coach, if you're on this staff, or you're a GA, or if you're in any way connected with this football program and you aid practice, you better be on the ball.
Yeah.
You better be in shape because they are flying from one thing to the next.
I saw it even with the officials, like the ball boys, the officials. They got to go across
the go.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be in really
50
good
yards back and forth. Yeah.
I was cracking up.
Well, what do you mean with Fry though? Because Trickett was very detail oriented and militaristic. So what's the difference? I couldn't hear it, so I'm interested.
It's okay. So first of all, they're firing off in these passing drills that they're doing, where the quarterbacks are throwing behind them. It's just simple stuff, things that the last staff did, and they have to fire off. But then they had to run through. He has them go through the end zone, back around a cone, and circle back around for it's their turn.
When they were in red zone, yeah.
Yeah, when they're in red zone, and two guys I saw while I was standing there tried to cut across from the cone. He's like, whoa, no, come back, do it again. And if I catch you again, you're going to do it 3 more times. And he was just very attention to detail about, hey, this is the way we're doing this thing, and you're going to do it. There's not going to be any loafing or cutting corners here. Our linemen are going to have to be in better shape because of the offense that we're running. I think that stands to reason. And they are going about the process early right now in making that happen. Those guys ran more than I ever saw our linemen run at any point. And I'm not saying that's necessarily going to mean that the team dominates in a way that they haven't up front in the past, but it is different, and the mandate is different.
No, there's no doubt. We've talked about this as we're previewing spring, is just because something's different doesn't mean it's better or worse. It may be worse. The result may not be there the way it was with Jimbo, and so, we may have to revisit some things. But for the time being, you're still in a honeymoon period, and we're noting the differences because we need to know how the players are going to be wired. What are they going to be asked to do on a week in, week out basis? Because it's like Jimbo's offense. If we looked horrible running the hurry up, well, there's a reason for that. That makes sense. We don't practice the hurry up. We're not going to look the same way that Willie's offense does. So if Willie's offense has problems under center, or in a goal line set,
you'd understand
a traditional 2-back goal line or whatever, we use that, and we there's a false start or something. Well, we don't really work on that. That's not what we are about. So we need to document what we are going to be about.
You got to be great at something, and it means that some other areas will suffer, but everybody has Jimbo used to say this all the time. Every team has an identity. They don't really stray too far from it. I mean, it's what you do. It's why you practice those things in repetition. It's not pro football. You don't have unlimited hours, so you have to become good at something. It's the classic. You got to stand for something or you fall for anything. So, that's how that works. And I will say this. I think if you're going to through one day of practice, try and relay to a listener or somebody with a vested interest in the program who either isn't here or couldn't attend practice, and we're just their eyes and ears. What did you notice that was different about the atmosphere? What did you know that was different about the pace? What did you know that was different about the way they went about conducting practice? I would just say that football's hard work. I've said on the show lots of times that football practice sucks. I never liked football practice, not once, ever. There are things that happen within a practice I liked, and there are drills that that I was better at than I was others, and everybody knows what they're good and bad at. So if you were asked to do something you were bad at, you didn't like that, but you knew that. That's just all within football, and the camaraderie is always great. But by and large, football is hard. It requires a lot of you mentally and physically, and thus your great reward is the game. It is always the game. You go through the hell of all of those practices and weight room sessions and all of that for the game. And yet, I will tell you that those guys had fun today. And that'll be interesting to see when they start hitting and the games begin and there are wins and losses, there are results. Are things still the same? Because they affect you. And I got to imagine that this right now is obviously welcomed with open arms because it's not dry, it's not boring, and it's a new message.
Yeah, it was the old practices, and we would see those in fan day. You know, you'd get there, and it's very quiet. It's almost like, outside of maybe one-on-one drills where you have a receiver going on defensive back, or sometimes they do board drills when we were at fan day. Other than that, it was like a church. It was like practice was done in a church, except the guy on the pulpit was, screaming F-bombs, and everybody would kind of fall in line. And though I couldn't hear the music today, given where I was standing in the windy conditions, it looked like it was more at a reception hall. People were moving around.
They were having a lot of fun, man.
As they were waiting, as you're talking about in the very beginning, as they're waiting on their turn, they're back and forth. They're kind of rocking back and forth. It's time to get to work. Let's go. The attitude does seem more positive, but it would always be more positive with any change.
It would. I think we hearken back to something Willie said at yesterday's press conference and then saw it play out today. And it shows that, when he's telling you something in those press conferences or he's having that conversation about what he's going to do, he's going to follow through with it. He's going to do it. I mean, we'll see what that becomes and how that blossoms. But he said, yeah, we're going to get our work in. We're not going to go out there and substitute fun over fundamentals and technique. We're going to do our work. And we're going to coach hard, and we're going to coach aggressively. But we do want to have fun. When you make plays, we want you to be excited about that. We're going to engage in that. That's what our coaches want. And I think I saw that today. I mean, the effort was rewarded, the playmaking when it was there to be made, a guy makes a nice catch or something like that. You heard from the coaches and the players alike celebrating that moment together and at a very brisk pace and getting right back in the damn line and moving forward. But that is going to be encouraged. There's going to be a lot of noise, a lot of talking, a lot of chatter, a lot of music, and a lot of movement. And they're going to get after it. And I for one, personally, it's more enjoyable to watch, and I think it'd be more enjoyable to be involved in.
Well, yes, and you can see how the camaraderie is built. You can see how that would help.
Oh,
people like each other a little bit more, want to spend more time around each other. Those little details about when you're going through – when you're suffering, that's the thing. That's what practice is, right? And you knew it was suffering when you were watching us in fan day. But when it's that time, if you guys can smile about it together, well, then if it's 9 o'clock, you might be more apt to text your friend over there that you just went through hell with, but you had a good time.
It's tough to read between the lines. I got a great quote from, a 5-star defensive tackle in Marvin Wilson, who is going to be a real good case study for all of this, right? Because he comes in the Jimbo era, well-regarded, got on the playing field, big, huge guy, and he is now seeing the stark contrast from that 1 year that he's been on the team to this new year. I'll read that quote in a second. I thought it was interesting. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Why does Mahindra have 97% satisfaction? Ask our owners.
This gives me the ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models.
TNT.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast, brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus. And now, Jeff and Eddie wasting time when they're supposed to be recording a commercial.
What were we drinking? It was tall. I just remember there was a lot of it.
And it was cold, and it was
so hot outside.
Man.
It was crazy.
I couldn't even breathe.
Truck. And then the truck came up with the dude.
Oh, that guy.
Food was good. Food was good.
Yeah, the food's always good.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
2 men out, and the pitch to Swanson. Swinging a line drive left field. That's a base hit. Braves win. Dansby Swanson.
Chop it up, Braves fans. This is your new home. 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee's sports monster. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's a different atmosphere now, said defensive tackle, sophomore defensive tackle Marvin Wilson. It doesn't feel like a job anymore. It feels like something we love. You loved football in high school. Now you can love it again in college. Well, that's a pretty powerful quote.
Yeah. From a 19-year-old.
Yeah. Quote, from the start last year, it felt like you were going to work instead of just coming in to play football. Feels a lot more like a family now. So obviously Marvin is letting it be known how he feels about the two different coaching staffs.
All right, there it is.
Yeah, so again, the talking point there is certainly you have a guy who's not afraid to say what it is he's feeling about the two different regimes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to go win more games or be more successful. And so, I'll read you that quote because it was eye-opening. And as we try to glean something from these early practices and learn something of this staff, any sort of quote like that can be deemed insightful and interesting. But it is, once again, going to come down, as we all know, to whether or not they win games.
Yeah, it's the honeymoon period for the players, too. Even though they just went through the chase, they would be going through some sort of fourth quarter drills anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's no secret about the way it ended. I don't know how a player could be happy about the way it ended last year. You have position coaches fighting amongst each other in front of the players often, so that doesn't exactly breed confidence and lightheartedness on the practice fields. So you combine those two things together, and I think it's a logical response. But how free he felt to say it, that's also kind of new too.
Well, I think that it's going to be interesting to see if that gets curtailed, because if you've got players saying that and say more come out and begin to say it, I don't know that that's helpful. I don't know that that's necessary. I don't know that if I'm part of the new regime that I would necessarily want that. I think I might say, guys, I got it. Cool. I'm glad you're embracing it. We're really having a lot of fun, but we have a ton of work to do. And let's keep it positive here. Let's continue to move forward together. We don't need to air whatever dirty laundry happened a year ago to the press. Let's keep that in here and move on.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that would be my mandate.
If I was either Sports Info or part of the coaching staff, I would agree with your stance there. Now that it's out there, because there are going to be media outlets who would love to ask that question of every player.
Absolutely.
Until the end of time.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to nip that in the bud. However, I mean, it is good to hear a player
without question
who's not Jacob Pugh on the way out the door.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
kind of describe.
This is not double middle fingers. This is, yeah.
Right. He's
no,
saying,
no. I mean, he's giving you an honest opinion, and that's the way he felt. And I think it's insightful, and I think it's interesting. I think it's revealing. But I also think that if I were the new coach and I caught wind of that, and I saw that quote in print, I'd go, ooh, we don't need that. Partly because, listen, you've come in and taken over a job, just as I have, that is vacated by somebody else whom either got let go or chose to leave or whatever it is. And you don't really want to get involved in whatever that was because everybody's got their own story and everybody's got their side of things. And if you weren't there for it or you don't really know, then you don't want to be a part of taking over something new, working to move forward and create something of your own while people are still commenting on the things that happened before you got here and the people that were here before you and all that. It doesn't do anybody any good. It doesn't. And so, hey, great. He said it. He was free to say it. And I read it, and it's an interesting quote. But if I'm a coach, I say, let's not do that. Let's not. Just a suggestion.
From here on out.
Yeah, from here on out.
We good, Marvin?
Maybe after this week.
Right, yeah.
Get it all out of your system.
Get it out of your system.
And then we're moving on, Big River.
A couple of walkthroughs, but when we put the shoulder pads on, let's get to.
Because, oh, by the way, here's the deal. Good cop, bad cop, all that stuff exists on every staff. And I'm going to do things. I know I'm going to do things that you're not going to like. There are going to be elements of what came before me that you preferred. Now, maybe there'll be more that I bring to the table that you like than not, but I don't need you commenting on all of this.
Well, and that's also true. One possible scenario is he doesn't like the way things go here either in a year, and you're like, well, okay, so he's not ever happy.
Right.
He's not ever satisfied. We'll learn more about Marvin. I'm sure he's going to be interviewed quite often over the next couple of seasons, given that, he's a beast in the making.
It's a very exciting time, and, anything new brings about a feeling of sort of exhilaration, and everybody wants to see what it's about. And so today felt like that, and I think spring is going to serve that purpose. That's what we're all – I mean, it really is cheesy, but if you're writing, here you go. I mean, what is spring? I mean, you've got it all right there. And I think that the next 3 weeks are going to play out in that way with a whole lot of, as you described it, as kind of honeymoon feelings and everybody's happy and isn't this swell and how about these guys having fun out here again? And, boy, that's different. It's nice to see coaches,
I think that's going to last after the spring game, too. You get into fall camp, it might still be lingering. But then once the wins and the losses happen, it will come to an abrupt end, or it will, double down.
Always. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and a full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Turn up the savings and be comfortable this spring when you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Get $1,200 in cool cash rebates when you purchase a select Carrier system and get up to 60 months no interest on all purchases. Learn more at BaranoAC.com. Florida license CAC 057652.
Metro Deli congratulates the Knowles men's basketball team on making the round of 16. Metro Deli, Tallahassee's perfect lunch spot. Online at MetroDeliTally.com. Good luck in LA, Knowles.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You can do this today. Super Lube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Super Lube my car. Yes, sir.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Could you turn that down a little, please? Hello, my name is Jim Smith, and I'm the owner of Poor Paul's here in Tallahassee. First, I want to thank you all for stopping. I'm sure you're wondering why I'm here on the Capitol steps and why I don't have any clothes on.
Because you're a pervert.
Let me explain. This is being recorded for a Poor Paul's radio commercial, and I think if I record it totally nude, people will pay more attention to my message. Business is great at Poor Paul's, but I still have one small problem.
I'll say you do.
My problem is that in spite of having free Gumby's Pizza and $4.95 pitchers every Sunday and Monday night, free beer and free mixed drinks for our lovely ladies every Tuesday night, and other great money-saving specials every other night of the week, some of you are still going to other bars. Bars whose owners would never bare their souls, so to speak, as I am. So I'm simply asking for your business so Poor Paul's can grow.
I see something else that needs to grow.
This isn't working. Hand me that towel, please.
I have a hanky.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. The East leading Raptors and Cavaliers, the marquee matchup tonight in the NBA. Pre-game coverage, 6:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, 7 Eastern, ESPN TV. It's easy to see why Toronto's won 12 of 13 and owns a 5-game lead atop the conference, notes LeBron James.
I think they're better teams because they was able to re-sign Lowry and re-sign DeRozan. They kept that nucleus together. Valanciunas has gotten better. And they have shored up their bench. They do a good job of just keeping up the tempo when they make those subs, but it all starts with DeRozan and Lowry. We all know that, and they've been playing exceptionally well this season.
LeBron and the Cavs are third in the East, up a half game on the Pacers. Toronto All-Star DeMar DeRozan, left thigh contusion, questionable. Cleveland guard Kyle Korver, not expected to play, has taken a leave of absence following the death of his younger brother. Baseball, the Orioles agreed with righty Alex Cobb, 4 years, close to $60 million. National second baseman Daniel Murphy, coming off off-season knee surgery, expects to miss opening day on March 29th against the Reds.
The first tulips of spring from 1-800-Flowers.com are finally here. Right now, when you order 30 assorted tulips from 1-800-Flowers, you'll get them for only $30. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code SAS.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Balls Mick Wednesday.
Balls you fire.
Brought to you by TNT Supercenter, 14585 U.S. Highway 19, Thomasville, Georgia. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor entertainment.
Plans, I would, and I have. But Thursday, March the 29th, can you believe that's just 8 days away? Basically a week, my friends. Next week.
Major League Baseball.
Yeah. MLB opening day celebration at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. We like to do this annually. We've gone from my house. I can't invite you all to my house. I had a select few at the crib about 4 years ago, whatever it was.
4 or 5 years ago now, yeah.
Yeah. And it was fun. We grilled out. We did it up. Everybody had their different devices for their teams so they could see if it wasn't on the big screen. But then we decided to, upsize the celebration, if you will, and take it over to the CP. And we've done that every year since. So we take the day off. We just say, screw it. We're going to take the day off. It's opening day. It's a national holiday. As a red-blooded American male, you're damn right it is.
Yes.
It's the start of baseball. So we go over there and we watch it. And if you join us next Thursday on the 29th, etch that into your calendar. What you're going to get an opportunity to do is check out the Vegas Wall and all the different games, but $2 pints, $2 dogs. How about that, right? And if you're a Jeff Cameron Show listener, which clearly you're listening now, you are, you get a free piece of apple pie. Now, if we were really going to do it up, we could put a little slice of cheese on top of that pie, buddy.
Well,
do it up just
maybe
right.
You can talk to Bill about that. Yeah.
But nonetheless, opening day at the CP on the 29th. Good times. I am pumped. You're getting there finally.
I'm getting there.
Taking a while.
Well, I mean, Knowles basketball is
carrying the day.
Wonderful distraction, is it not?
No doubt. No doubt. Because you guys know me all too well, you sent me this story, and now it's a love-hate thing. It really is when I read these stories. Always has been. But here you go. Remember that group, that family that I told you about? They became millionaires after finding 7 vintage baseball cards while they were cleaning out their late grandfather's house. Remember that story? About a year ago, I think I told you that. They were cleaning out the grandfather's garage and his attic and all that, and they found these cards in perfect condition. The family, that was 2 years ago. It was called one of the greatest finds in sports collectibles history when they found 7 Ty Cobb baseball cards printed between 1909 and 1911. And they're in mint condition. They're really cool. It's called the Lucky 7 Legacy. And anyhow, they had it, and it falls under the category of you can't make up this stuff. The latest story is that this couple found another baseball card that's worth $250,000. Because, of course, they did. The first 7 cards were in a rumpled paper bag that was about to be thrown in the trash when somebody noticed the weight and decided to look inside. They just, I'll have a peek, Tom. Let's just take a peek. Why don't we? A peek at millions of dollars.
Holy Jesus.
It was a shock to them. They put the cleaning on hold at that moment. Later, they knew what they were looking for. In a dusty box between 2 books, they found another one. The great-grandfather himself apparently had no idea that he was leaving a fortune to his descendants. He wasn't even a collector, according to the sports authenticator, Joe Orlando, president of the Professional Sports Authenticator of Newport Beach, which we've been in Newport Beach.
Yeah. And they'll tell you where you are.
Yeah, nice place. So that said, this guy wasn't even a collector. He just held on to these cards. They were most likely given to him after buying a kind of tobacco product. The family, which is from the rural South and wants to remain anonymous, intends to keep this one as a memento. How about you move from the rural South and take it out to Newport Beach, baby? Clearly, your granddad had it right. Get the hell out of the rural South, man.
We could buy 50 more acres.
Yeah. There are now 24 known copies of the card featuring the famed Detroit Tiger slugger that on the back reads Ty Cobb, King of the Smoking Tobacco World. What a thing to be known as, in addition to racist and murderer and fine baseball player. He's all of those things, apparently. And King of the Tobacco Smoking World. What an endorsement for an athlete.
All hail the king.
How about that, right? Now, that's interesting. That's less than half the known remaining number of Honus Wagner cards from the same time that have long been considered to be the holy grail of collecting. And while the surge in numbers for the Cobb cards may have diminished the value somewhat by making them less rare, Orlando said the excitement surrounding them and possibility that more could exist have more than made up the difference. Sometimes a card can be so rare that no one bothers to talk about it. This raised the importance of the Ty Cobb card. So they found all those cards, and they became millionaires because of it, and then they said, well, wait a minute, hold on, there could be more. And there was.
But they've had enough that they can keep this one as a memento rather than, cash
hanging
in
on the wall.
Yeah.
The famed Ricky Henderson check that he got from the Oakland A's that he framed and forgot to cash. And at the end of the year, the A's said, we're more than $1 million off in our books, and we have scoured the records. How can we be more than $1 million off? It doesn't make any sense. It's as if somebody didn't cash a multi-million-dollar check that we gave them. Go back through the records. This is a true story. They did, and it occurred to them that their young star, Ricky Henderson, had apparently not cashed the check. When contacted, Ricky said, oh, that's real money? They said, yes, where's the check? That was your salary. That was your signing bonus. It's $2 million. What'd you do with it? Oh, it's hanging in a frame on my wall. Oh, Ricky.
Oh, man.
How about that, right?
Yeah. That concept didn't come to him as quickly as, stealing a base.
And being one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
And swiping at the baseball as he caught it in the outfield.
Just most disruptive force baseball had seen. I can cash that? Indeed, sir. If you'd like a replica, by all means, we'll get you one. But we got to get our books right.
And as he's taking a lead off of first, I am the most disruptive force that baseball has ever seen.
And the thing is, you could be as mad as you want to be, but he was. Man alive. Anyhow, so $250,000 more for this family because their great-grandfather was a badass and saved all his Ty Cobb cards in a bag in the attic. That's ridiculous.
Because he wanted to be just like the king of the tobacco smoking world.
Yeah, I love it. Not even a collector, just like the king of tobacco smoking, Ty Cobb. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely zero-turn mowers.
Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
The excitement of the Willie Taggart era at Florida State is in full force. That's why now's the perfect time to sign up at warchant.com. Warchant.com will have wall-to-wall coverage of spring football practice, including the latest on position battles, coach and player interviews, video features, and in-depth analysis. Warchant.com's three-team writers Gene Williams, Irish O'Fell, and Corey Clark have 50 years of experience covering the Seminoles. And Warchant.com is the only FSU media outlet with a dedicated, full-time recruiting analyst in Tallahassee with the latest on the 2019 class. For your 30-day free trial subscription, head to warchant.com and use promo code WARCHANT30.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Hi, honey. How was your day?
It was fine. Pretty uneventful. How about you?
Well, I called the auditors this afternoon and made an appointment for one to come out to the house.
Wait, what? Have you lost your mind? Auditors? Why would you call them? Now we have to find our tax returns, paycheck stubs, and financial records, not to mention all those forms. Good grief.
Relax, honey. It's not that kind of auditor.
It's not?
No. I called the City of Tallahassee Utilities and scheduled a free energy audit.
Energy audit?
Right. It's when an energy auditor from our own utilities comes out to the house, examines the structure, and checks our energy and water systems, and then recommends changes we might make to save energy, water, and money.
And you said it's free?
Absolutely. It's free from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, our own utilities.
Sounds good to me. Let's save some money.
If you're a City of Tallahassee residential, electric, and natural gas customer, you can schedule a free energy audit. Call 891-4YOU. That's 891-4968. And schedule your free energy audit at a time most convenient for you. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities.
Oh no! My lunch has been ravaged by ants.
Go to Bandito's Burritos.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
The shuffle of all the basketball greatness and the start of spring football, to some degree, has been Florida State baseball, which went on a little mini slump and turned it around big time to capture the series against Notre Dame, and then faced ranked UCF last night and got a win. UCF, by the way, ranked in the top 25 and 17-5 on the season, falls to Florida State last night by a score of 6-4. Give it up to Andrew Karp, who goes 7 1/3, 3 earned, didn't walk anybody, struck out 10. 117 pitches in the 7 1/3 innings pitched. So 4-1, is that right, or 5-1? Is that what he's at?
4-1, I do believe.
Nicely done, young man. So good news there, and the Noles get that win. And Van Eck going to start tonight? I should probably ask you these things before we go on the air.
Yeah, Van Eck.
Yeah.
CJ is going to be starting. Last night, Jackson Luke hit a home run, too. Remember the talking point about he always starts slow?
He does.
Perhaps the break is coming now.
Yeah, Jackson Luke infuriated me at various points early in the season. He does every year. I'm reminded of how much he infuriates me in the moments that he infuriates me again. I hearken back to the previous season or moment in which I thought, boy, I'll tell you, it's something to have a man on second with nobody out and have you strike out on 3 pitches. It's a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a thing to have runners at second and third with 1 out and have you strike out looking again. God forbid you shorten up and advance a runner. Hit it to the right side. Hell of a thing to be in a game against the University of Florida, who beats your ass every single time they play you, and to have a man in scoring position with less than 2 outs and to see you strike out on a fastball down the heart. Looking. That's a tough thing to get past.
Well, that part is not new. That's
it's not new. I'm going to need you to shorten up on occasion Let's move a runner over, my man.
Backwards K is just kind of part and parcel to our high on-base percentage. That's what comes with it.
Yeah, but they aren't devoid of the information that is to say, runner on third, one out. We're going to go ahead and need you to put the ball in play, Holmes.
That's kind of in our DNA.
We're not playing for the big inning here. Runner at third, one out. It's okay to put the ball in play. Mm-hmm. You can't stare at strike three. Swing, and I'll live. Ha! No. That's not what we do. We've got to let's spread out, shorten up here. Got to put the ball in play, baby. He does it more than anybody else in the history of baseball. Nobody is as bad as him. Nobody who's ever played, ever in the history of the game.
I don't know, though. A singular example is not at the top of my mind right now.
Well, I know where you're going to go. You're going to go over to third base. You're going to go over to Gonzalez. You're going to go over to my man.
Well, no, that's a good one. No, honestly, I didn't have one particular person. But, again, it's kind of what we do, man.
I don't know if that's statistically accurate. I don't know if that is.
With backwards Ks? That's more than just anecdotal.
No. You're talking about a kind of K. I'm talking about a situation. Less than one. Oh, you got one out and a runner on third.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it. You can't strike out there looking. Can't. I can live with anything else. I can live up with a dribbler back to the mound that doesn't get the runner home. I can live with you striking out, swinging. You get overpowered. I can live with popping up in the infield. These are efforts that I can deal with because the game is hard. That guy, more than anybody in this lineup, more than anybody in last year's lineup, more than anybody in the lineup before it, sits and stares at strike three. In those situations in particular, and that drives me nuts. It's crazy. He did it against Florida this year already. He's done it multiple times. But, God, I'm always of the mindset in the moment, God forbid you decide that it's okay.
Well, I want to say thank you because I appreciate you telling me this. Because now, if I'm around you and he's up with somebody in scoring position with fewer than 2 outs, I'm just going to walk away. Because
because you already know what's coming.
I'm going to feel the tension.
Here comes strike three looking.
Right. You see, that's exactly. And every pitch, I'll hear that.
But I'm not at fault for that. That's him. You should blame him. That's ridiculous. And it's happened sometimes. I'm not an unreasonable guy. I get baseball's really hard. Success is infrequent. I got it. Oh, man, just situationally. And I'm for playing for the big inning. I'm for all of these. I got you. We're on the road against Florida, and we've got a chance to score.
So that was the moment that you.
But he does it a lot. He did it against Notre Dame, and yeah.
But that's the moment that you decided that you were mad about that last Tuesday night. Clearly,
and I
you would have brought something else up.
I was also mad the year before when he did it, and it's usually, in fairness to him, I do think it's just early season really struggles. I mean, just early season struggles, and Meade has talked about that. I've talked about that. We've all watched him do that, but he can carry you and be a great player. So I don't forget that too. And by and large, I want him in the lineup more than I don't, certainly. Of course, that goes without saying. But those situations, man, God. And everybody's got a hole in their game. I'm not walking back what I said. I'll stand by that. That guy, more than anybody else, the whole putting the ball in play thing in that situation specifically.
He can be your best player for a long stretch of time.
That's why I said I want him out there. And that's why I also mentioned he can be your best player for a long period of time. He can. I just need you to, on occasion, recognize that situation. It's looking. It's always looking. It's specific to him, looking with a runner on third, less than 2 outs. And I think...
How many times does that happen in a year?
I don't know.
Like 10? So how many times? What do you think? 6 out of 10? Get a backwards K?
He's done it for him specific with less than 2 outs and a runner in scoring position.
Give me a percentage of time that your mind tells you it happens.
Only in the first half of the season.
Okay.
So specific to the first half of the season, in that situation, 98% of the time.
Okay, yeah.
98% of the time. It's a stunning development when he doesn't strike out looking with a runner in scoring position in less than 2 outs. How about this? we should really focus in on just if he puts it in play at all, just at all.
You'll celebrate.
Oh,
yeah.
my God. He could
I'll
hit.
be sitting in the bleachers down the right field line, and I'll hear,
I may run out on the field and give him a hug.
ground ball to second.
Yeah.
And I'll hear,
No,
look.
he could literally swing out of his shoes.
Press box window. There you are.
Tap the top of the ball, have it roll out barely a foot, which does the same thing as striking out looking. and I'd be like, all right, there we go.
You'd extend a massive flag out of the press box window and start waving it back and forth for a grounder to second.
I would. I'd celebrate for an hour. People would be good. Good Lord. Like, no, do you know how proud I am of him?
The celebration does not stop.
No. I want him to feel so rewarded for doing the right damn thing for once that he remembers to do it again next time. So I am going to be the guy who's forever patting on the back.
Hang on. I brought fireworks for this occasion. Let me walk over to the football practice fields and ignite them.
I never thought I'd have to light this match. Seminole Headlines is forthcoming. Stay with. Good work, Tom. Good work, Matthew. Talk to you guys tomorrow where it's game day, baby.